All right. Good morning, everybody. All right, let me get out of my short really quick. Don't really like how price is playing. And then we'll get the stream started. Quick little scalp, not bad. Although I'm only up like 0.5 R, not ideal. But I'm up pretty good on the week, so I'm just gonna focus on the stream. All right, so I'm gonna start in around 2.5 minutes. Then we'll dive right into it. You just make the announcement. All right, let's get started. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Morning, Essie. Nice to see you back. Jomar, Peter, Chris, Catlago, Caligo. Good afternoon. Snows, what's up? Zoe, Stan, Harv, Gab. Good morning. Swissman. Good morning. Oh, good night, Shubham. Shubham. I hope I said that right. Morning, Dan. I took a pretty quick scalp here just now, and I wanted to record it, but this live stream was like literally starting right when I was in the trade, so I just took like a 15-second scalp right here, which was like on these highs right here. Right, we had an SMT divergence over here. Then I just took a short from this displacement lower, this market structure shift. And so once we traded back in this RDRP, took a short and then just scalped it like that. And I took like a 0.5 R win. And overall, I am up pretty juicy up this week, you know what I'm saying? I still think that we're going lower personally, but I don't want to risk it, to be honest. I just don't want to give back my profits. So I'm gonna chill for now and see what the market gives us. As of right now, I do see this as the drawn liquidity. It's It's just extremely choppy right now, so I'm not a fan of it. Or the 1 minute would look cleaner though. Yeah, it just looks like a clean setup, honestly. It's just that 5 minute SMT isn't very convincing. I'm gonna be honest. Like, it's not the most A plus setup because we don't have a clear SMT. More of a 1 minute SMT divergence more than a you know. Yeah, so if this plays out, this would be a market maker sell model right here. Right here, right? Market maker sell model. Thoughts on GC1 exclamation mark. Looks like classic AMD in Asia, London, New York. I don't trade gold, and let's see. Take a look. 15-minute chart. Start by dividing our day to their quarters, right? So today would be, so this would be that YouTube model that I released, just splitting the days. So now you're identifying. Okay, so what do the quarters look like? Well, it's quite obvious that Q1 is accumulation, Q2 is manipulation, right? And then Q3 would be that distribution, right? That continuation higher. And so now you're asking yourself, go to the 4 hour, do you have something to frame this off of? Yes. So you have a 4 hour fair value gap, which is amazing. And what's your ultimate draw on liquidity is you have this high which has been met, or you can go back to the 15-minute, use your projection swings to find that target. So look for some. Alright, so this could be a potential target up here. Okay. Can't delete it. So potential targets could be to the upside here. It looks like a pretty good buy in my opinion. I don't trade gold once again, so take this at your own discretion. But this is my analysis on gold as of right now, is that we have this 4 hour fair value gap, 15-minute structure looks pretty solid within here. Right? This looks pretty solid for gold. And then the final target or objective you can look for is, look right. What do you have here? You have some liquidity here, like equal highs, right? So you can take a look, and that lines up with the negative 3.5 standard deviation. So you can also look at that as a potential target right here, just like that. And that's my framework for the day, most likely. So from one of these PD arrays, you can look for a continuation trade, right? Because if you have London manipulating, then you're expecting this to be somewhat of a low of the day, right? Yeah, it looks like a pretty solid trade here. Actually, I'm gonna be honest. Once again, I don't trade gold, so you guys do what you will with that. And then NQ, let's see what's going on. Still looks like a pretty good drawdown there, but the fact that it's chopping around like this is not very promising. So I would just suggest to wait for 9:30 or wait for 10 a.m. news, right? And the reason I went live at 9 a.m. today is because we have news at 10 a.m. So I'm just here to attend the equities open, to be honest. That's why I'm live at 9 and then wait for that 10 a.m. news. Yeah, this SMT is on, I mean, you could see it on the 5 minute, but it's also on the 1 minute. It's like, it's clearer on the 1 minute than it is on the 5 minute for sure. Right here, it's like you see that tiny little SMT right here, but then if you drop down to a 1 minute chart, then it's a lot more prominent, right? Where you have this high and this lower high on NQ, and then you have this high, this higher high on YM. I mean, technically, if you want, you could frame this trade off the 15-minute, use the 1 minute to go short, and that's what I did earlier. But once again, because it's stalling so much, I don't like it, so I don't want to be a part of it. The only trades I like to be a part of are when they're just straight up expansive, and that's like, well, I mean, that's what anybody would like to be a part of, right? But if anybody made money this week, good job, because it's been a super difficult week in terms of the beginning of the week, in my opinion. For ICT traders, at least, it was pretty difficult in the beginning if you're using higher time frames. Unless you use the seconds time frames and stuff, then that's like clean as fuck. But if you're using like 5-minute, 15-minute, pretty difficult read, right? So just pat yourselves on the back. And then this final run higher, this was so clean. This one right here, this low resistance liquidity run right here, so clean, right? Fast run higher, and then I took a buy right here. It was actually like the cleanest trade, one of my cleanest trades ever. Taking a buy at the wick, then taking profit at this high. And I finished the week at like 11 point. Finished this week at 11.43 R, something like that. Wait, let me take a look. Let me check. Yeah, 11.43 R, and this morning I took a 0.5 R scalp, so I'm up 11.93 R, which is insane. Definitely one of the best weeks. Not, yeah, actually I want to say best weeks, but one of the better weeks I have. Yeah, this week was good for like the seconds charts. Ethan, how do you decide when you have also a bullish SMT? So how I filter out my SMTs essentially is just what's the context, right? What's the higher time frame context? If we're trading into a higher time frame PD array, then I'm just looking for the SMT within that PD array. So in this context, it's we're inside a 15-minute fair value gap or 1 hour fair value gap, and you have SMT within that gap, then that's kind of telling that you might want to go lower. That makes sense. That's just how I kind of gauge direction. I understand what SMT is, but don't know how to use it. Can you explain? Yeah, it's just use it within higher time frame PD arrays. Honestly, just go watch the time frame alignment video I released, and then from that, you can just, you know, find SMT within that time frame alignment. You know what I'm saying? You go long directly at that wick. After that wick, I saw a possible entry above 5-minute BP formed. I entered on the 15-second. That's why. So right here, if we go to the 15-second really quick, right? ICT 2022 model on the 15-second right here, right? So get that market structure shift right here. Market structure shift, and from that market structure shift, now we can look for that fair value gap, right? What's even better is that this is a balanced price range, right? So if you entered on this balanced price range, there's your entry, right? And then on the 5-minute, it looks like I caught the wick, which I did on the 5-minute, but on the 15-second, I'm really catching the ICT 2022 model, right? That's why it looks like that. Clean, clean, clean. I annotated this live. Did I post this? I'm pretty sure I posted this. Yeah, I posted this in the Discord if you guys want to go look at the analysis. It's just SMT, right? Once again, we're within a higher time frame PD rate hourly fair value gap right here, and then we get that SMT divergence. And from that SMT divergence, I'm looking for an entry 15-second ICT 2022 mentorship model, and then from there we also have a balanced price range, which is even better. And so from that enter. Yeah, this was also an hourly unicorn, but I didn't really pay attention to that too much. In the morning, I don't know if you guys remember, but in the stream I also annotated these specific breakers, right? These specific breakers that we want to be looking at. If you annotated on your charts, you would see that, right? Why is this breaker significant? Is because it's overlapped with a time-based PD array. Where is it? Am I tripping? Or do I just not have it showing? I forgot what was overlapping with this one. Something was overlapping with this one. And it was time-based, which is even better. But yeah, that's pretty much the premise of that trade specifically. And that. Now we move on to the next. Same exact framework, right? Exact same framework. Did I see any change in state delivery? Change in state delivery, honestly, is just an engulfing candle, no? Like, my understanding is that it's just an engulfing candle. So once you get the change state, I don't like entering a change in state delivery because it's like, I don't know, it's kind of sus. But this right here, like once this up close candle closed above this down close candle, right? This is a change in state delivery right here. Do I want to enter on that? Not really. I'll be honest. It's not something I found a lot of success with. I'll be honest. So I just don't use it personally, but you can use it if it works for you. Just wondering whether the run on the Q1 15-minute low with SMT and then a M1 unicorn would be valid trade higher, given that in manipulation Q draws likely lower. I can frame a trade for both sides right now. I think it's low probability, but my favorite framework is using hourly to 5-minute to 15-second. Or sorry, my favorite framework is going from monthly, daily, hourly, 5-minute, 15-second. That's my favorite framework. So the fact that I see an hourly fair value, we're trading into it, looking for 5-minute SMT divergence, and that's the setup I'm paying attention to. But if you use a different framework like the weekly 4-hour, 15-minute, 1-minute, 5-second, for example, then you'll be able to find different trades, right? The 4-hour SMT on the highs, yeah, I was also paying attention to that. So if you look on the highs right here, right, this is a very major SMT divergence that if it holds, okay, that's if it holds, then you can anticipate for some bearishness here. So that's why I'm also leaning bearish because of this major SMT divergence, and on the daily chart, right, that's a daily SMT divergence. But that's pretty, you're gonna have to wait a little bit for that to play out because it's a higher time frame SMT divergence. So, you know, until we get some sort of shift. So it's like by Monday, if we get like a drive lower like this, then we could go bearish, right? These equal lows look pretty good. But we're gonna need to confirm. We're gonna need time to confirm that. I wouldn't necessarily call it yet. We're 52 watching. Let's push that like button. Yes, sir. You use some time frame alignment to confirm higher time frame PRI. For example, to confirm weekly ideas, you use the 4-hour, or you just confirm every time frame with your intermediate term time frame. Yeah, so I just confirm it based on. So it's like if I'm using a weekly PD array, then I'm confirming it with the 4-hour. You know, just using that time frame alignment. If I'm using a 50-minute PD array, I'm using 1 minute to confirm. If I'm using an hourly PD array, then I'm using 5 minutes to confirm. So this retracement side hourly for value gap, which is also a balance pressure, will happen after price tapped into the -2 to -2.5 standard deviations box. Measure the manipulation. Think. Like look. Retracement. Are we doing projections from up here? This manipulation right here. 525. I feel like I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, I'm not sure what. Looking for this maybe? Project them from the 3 up close candle on hourly. Right here. I don't see it tapping into -2, -2.5 in my chart. So good seeing the same analysis on your chart as on mine. Appreciate that, but you know I can always be wrong too. But it's about the thought process that like we can have some sort of standard operating procedure to kind of go through the markets and you know dissect it from there and see if we're both right. Is there a version of SMT divergence where one instrument makes equal highs and one fails to make equal highs for a short idea? Not that I know of, to be honest. It's either you made a higher high or you didn't make a higher high. And then equal highs are usually just a good drawn liquidity too, right? So you have to be, you know, it's a good drawn liquidity, so you have to be careful if you're gonna go for a short on equal highs. I talk a little louder, please. Turn up my mic volume. Is that better? Turned up my mic a little bit. Yeah, okay, perfect. I use the bodies. I also sometimes use. Actually, I haven't really used the bodies for projections. More so, I use the candle bodies, swing high and swing low for projections. So for me, my projection would look like that essentially. You just have to stay consistent with the one methodology you use. Get used to it. Right. Once again, imagine you were in this short right now. How would you feel? Right. You wouldn't feel that great. How do you make those three tabs move simultaneously? Here are my settings. I use this one, the 3 layout, and then all of these are on. So that way it just moves together based on the time and date range. Would you suggest watching all of ICT's content, or are there specific months to pay attention to? I think watching all of core content specifically is mandatory essentially. Um 20 okay, if I were to recommend 3 playlists, it would be number 1 you should watch Market Maker Primer course, then number 2 you should watch core content, and number 3 you should watch 2022 mentorship. And then with those 3 you'll have more than enough to be successful. Afterwards, if you want to watch the rest and learn more, then go for it, but understand that when you do watch all of his content, you're watching it for entertainment, not necessarily to implement everything he teaches, right? So how I do it, I just watch him for entertainment now, and if I take something new away from it, then that's cool. If not, then it's whatever. Like, I still enjoy it. And there's all, in my opinion, there's always something to take away from it, but you know, I don't like hardcore study it anymore because I have my model. I have my model already. You know what I'm saying? So right now, what my immediate attention is going to is ES making a higher high, or it looks like it wants to make a higher high, and NQYM look like they're a little more reluctant. So that could be a potential SMT divergence that we're waiting for. Okay, so now YM's driving lower. It's 9:30 open. ES driving higher. Right, when the markets are not in sync, then you just kind of want to sit on your hands and wait a little bit. Before in that SMT on the lows right now. Let's see if YM's able to hold where it is right now. Still paying attention to the highs right now within this higher time frame period, and I want to see if, you know, if this is manipulation, or you know what I mean. So if we're going higher, I want NQ to go higher faster. Like, yeah, if it's gonna go higher, it's gonna go fast. And just took a very quick long scalp right there. So now I'm up 2.5 R for the day. So I'm just gonna call it. Now I just tape read for you guys. Reason for my long is we have SMT on the lows, right? 15-second structure. I long somewhere here as I was digging lower. Stop loss below this low, and then just took it for this. Something like this. Then I did 10 contracts instead of 5. So at this point, I would say that this market maker sell model is invalidated, well, because of this displacement. So once we had this is invalidated. You don't really want this anymore. And so now you would be looking once again. It's like, what are the markets doing? Is you can see YM is not really in sync with ES and NQ. So I would kind of be a little hesitant to go for a bigger range target, right? So this hourly gap potentially get inverted. If it gets inverted, then I think it's pretty obvious we're going for this high actually. So we'll see what happens. Good morning, Austin. So the leap on TV only allows EU's tradable assets. What do you mean by that? When the price reaches higher time for PD array, example 1 hour time frame, do you wait for the candle to close or take a trade if we get market structure shift? I wait for SMT first. If we have SMT, then I'll look for market structure. Then you'll look for any entry model you want to use. You could look for your unicorn model, you look for your 2022 model, like anything, any entry model will be there essentially. Just using the framework of higher time frame PD array and SMT divergence, your entry model will be there. So I don't think this draw on liquidity is valid anymore. I was also looking at the weekly candle. It looks like it could be an expansive range on Friday. And the reason I'm saying it could be expansive is because we took previous week high. So past this point, if we're bullish, then we want to see speed higher, right? So in that aspect, we can expect Friday to expand higher. If this is a manipulation move though, however, then we could look for expansive move lower into that TGIF setup. But this weekly candle is like extremely small, to be honest. It's not anything crazy, right? So I don't know how I'd feel about a TGIF setup. S&T from any time frame? No, it would be in time frame alignment. So whatever your high time frame PD array is, so like say I'm using an hourly PD array, then you use the 5-minute. If you haven't watched the time frame alignment lecture, then it'll be covered in there. So right now it's just, once again, I'm sitting on my hands until I get another opportunity. Well, I'm done for today, but if I get another opportunity, then I'll just tape read it. Look at 1 minute. All of this is low resistance liquidity right here. So if you want to take a short, you could. Actually, I'm not even going to promote that. You'd be taking a short on the 5 second. I'm not even going to tell you guys to do that. Just tape read it. I pay attention to YM right now. This looks bearish. I'm going to be honest. But the only thing I would say is we don't have a higher time frame PD rate to really frame this off of unless you're using this propulsion block or this order, which I personally don't really use that much. So my framework is still this hourly fair value gap, how we react to it. This wick on YM is making me kind of uncertain though, so that's just something I would wait on. That's actually a crazy week. I'm like halfway through paying back my debt. It's actually pretty great. Once again, watching YM. I'm still watching YM, right? YM ES, like, they're not really moving in sync, so I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced of anything right now. If we were going to go higher, what would make me feel more confident that we're going higher is if they were all moving in sync higher, right? But right now YM's kind of dropping straight back into that range. And so that's not something we really want to see. Same as ES, it drops straight back into that range. And so unfortunately we don't have SMT here. Unless you were in my stream yesterday, then we do have SMT technically. But I can't really talk about that, so you know. The ones that know, you know. For the ones that don't know, it's okay. Don't worry about it. And so that's why I'm leaning bearish for those that do know. Which time frame line you suggest best regarding your latest video and your model for day trading? I would say the best time frame alignment for my model is like you can use any time frame alignment, but the one I presented in that was 4-hour to 15-minute. You can go to the 1 minute if you want, but just 4-hour and 15-minute is all you need for that model, which is amazing. Like, it was so stupidly easy, you know what I mean? Yeah, I might just tape read this and not really tape reading. I'm in a trade right now, I'm not gonna lie. This is the start of over trading. Bad. I put one contract on the line, and I don't care if I get stopped out, I'll be honest. My stop's at let's see if this is a turtle soup actually. I might close my trade though. We'll have to see. I have SMT on the highs right now. I need to see some sort of displacement lower. Otherwise, I'm just gonna close my trade. Yeah, I might just close my trade on that. I'm good. So a quick little loss. This is what happens when you overtrade. Let me calculate that one. Oh, that's such a small loss actually. What the hell? I think that's 17. 0.23 R loss. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Okay, now I'm done. Promise. I promise I'm done, guys. Very interesting PA. $50-minute inversion. Yeah, it could be. Once we get this closure though, right? In 20 seconds. So I'd be looking at this specific fair value gap right here. If we get a closure above that, then that could be a 15-minute inversion to this strong liquidity. So it's not like the biggest trade, I'll be honest. There you go. So that's your inversion right there. I might just chill until 10 a.m. news. I still think that this liquidity down here though on the sell side is a little too clean. You know what I'm saying? A little too clean. Same as ES, a little too clean. Have to see though. I'm not taking any more trades, but that's just what I see right now. Closing the Ninja Trader. Here are my payouts. Once again, there's like nothing to really frame our trade off of right now, in my opinion. Like if we're going for a short, there's like not much. Like the only thing you would be looking at is the hourly order block, hourly proportion block right here. That's pretty much all you can really frame it off of. Same as a long, it's like there's not much to really frame it off of either. Like a long, like it would just, I don't even know if I would consider that an order block. I guess you got this 4-hour propulsion block. Yeah, that's just like over analyzing now though. It's better to keep it simple. If you can find yourself like finding reasoning for a lot of different things, that's how you know it's like, one, you might lack experience, and two is that it's just low probability for your model. This is some ugly price action, bruh. Maybe because I'm using the 5 minute. No, it looks pretty ugly on every other time frame too. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not gonna say anything for now. If you guys have questions, then feel free to ask. Driving lower, going for the sell side. Do you guys see my Twitter clip yesterday that I posted about how you can be wrong and make money, and then you can be right and lose money? How do you trail your stop loss? I have good entries, but I often trail my stop too aggressive. I would just say trail your stop based on SMT divergence. That's usually the play for me, in my opinion. Like if you get it, let's say you get like a SMT divergence and then it creates a market structure shift, then you're expecting speed through that market structure shift, and so you can trail your stop loss to the SMT divergence high. Under quarter theory, how would we read this on US 30 accumulation manipulated distribution? Yeah, so you have here, it depends what cycle you're using too, right? So if you're just looking at the session cycle, then we have accumulation manipulation higher and then distribution lower on the sessions. On the daily, exact same thing, accumulation manipulation distribution right now for US 30 as well for that daily cycle. So you have the right idea. So we also had the right idea of going short here. It's just US 30 kind of plummeted before NQ or ES did. So that's something to be aware of, I guess. It's just that NQ and ES are kind of reluctant to go lower right now. News in 9 minutes. And for all you know, this could be engineering liquidity for that news event, right? So you can see some choppier price action. Like right now we have the equal highs on NQ. Below is all that low resistance liquidity, right? So this is where you want to set on your hands because you're between equal highs and equal lows, essentially. Well, not equal lows, but you're in all of that low resistance liquidity. So you just want to kind of wait and see what the market wants to give you. Does it make more sense to do it by session or frame it by daily? It's honestly comes down to preference. What I do is I actually do top-down analysis in terms of the quarterly cycles as well. So I go from yearly to weekly to I go yearly. I look at yearly cycle first, and then I look at monthly cycles, and I look at weekly cycles, and then I look at daily cycle, and look at session cycles. And session cycle is really where I draw the line. I think anything lower than that, I don't really use it. Baseline low resistance liquidity is just essentially like what low resistance liquidity is like when you ask yourself who's making money right now. Okay. So if you're looking here, like who's making money is people in a long from down here, people in a long here, along all of this trend line, right? People are making money. And so you can now look, there's hella liquidity down here, essentially. So now you're asking yourself, on this trend line, there's probably a lot of people buying, right? On this trend line right here, right? So this trend line, why is there a lot of liquidity there? It's because retail or pattern traders will most likely be buying off of this trend line right here, right? So then if we're going to go lower, it's going to be low resistance liquidity, meaning it's going to be a quick movement there. Because there's so much liquidity, the smart money is going to want to just run price through that, so then they can liquidity grab essentially. And then if you ask on the opposing end, it's like, where are people making money on a short position? Well, they're making money here, they're making money here, right, as of right now. So you want to ask yourself, okay, so if we're a retail trader, then this looks like a perfect support and resistance level. There's probably people entering shorts right here as well. And so you can also, that's why it's like right now framing a trade is difficult, is because you can frame it both ways, where there's liquidity resting above on these equal highs, right? There's also liquidity resting below. So it's like, if we take out these guys first, then we can see take out those guys next. You know what I mean? They're just having that kind of thinking process. Who's making money right now? You want to target them. This is interesting though. I'm kind of played out exactly how we wanted it to, but then NQES are just not following, unfortunately. So for those that took the short here, I apologize for that, but you know, we catch the next one. We got news in 5 minutes. We'll see what happens. Why I'm still driving lower as of right now. ES is starting to follow a little bit. NQ is still a little reluctant, so I think NQ is honestly just waiting for news, to be honest. So a news event, we can see drive lower, in my opinion. I think the ultimate draw is lower as of right now. That's my opinion. So like, if news comes out, we can either accelerate lower, or we can just wick above these highs and drop. That's like my anticipation as of right now. Would you consider this time distortion? I don't understand time distortion enough to make that claim, so I would not say much on that matter until Day teaches more about time distortion. Is there no market maker model on the higher time frame like you taught us in your last video? No, I was looking earlier. It's already completed, the market maker model, right? So this would have been that market maker buy model, right? And it's completed once this target was hit. This all-time high was hit, right? So that's that target, and it's finished by the end of the week. That's why I took a long here, right? Because we're in this market maker buy model. As of right now, I don't see anything. I could just pull it on my ass and be like, oh, it looks like a market maker sell model, but like truthfully, I just don't see it there. Right, so when a higher time frame objective is hit, you guys can expect some sort of choppiness, and you're just gonna have to wait, right? That's just waiting for your setups, just having that patience. Do we have a potential RDRB on the 15-minute chart? Nope, I don't see it. Time to play some Brawlhalla? I'm just kidding. Not on a public stream. I'll save that for the Discord streams. So I'm gonna send you guys a link to this Twitter post I made yesterday, and you guys can take a look at it. It's just a quick clip from yesterday's premium stream. I'll just send it in chat really quick.
Meet the best.
Guys, go check that out if you want. Yeah, that's a smart move, Elijah, to not trade right now. What's an RDRB? It's a redelivered rebalanced. It's a PD array introduced by, as far as I know, it was introduced by the MMXM trader. I don't know anyone else that was talking to it prior to him. So. So news is out now, right? What happens? SMT on the lows, by the way. Pay attention to that. This is a significant SMT divergence. I'll just say that. My stream. Hi Ethan, where's the free material for alerting quarterly theory? You can go straight to Trader Days. YouTube, and he covers that. He has introduction to quarterly theory. I'll be making a video on it soon, but I'm gonna be making a video on SMT first. So as annotated earlier, if we get a spike above these highs, right? Once again, who's making money right now is people in these shorts, right? So now they're pretty much stopped out. So now we want to pay attention. Are we going to be able to maintain this kind of manipulation? And if so, then this could be just that sell into those. Right? Because now this liquidity has been taken out of the market, essentially. I don't see... Like, there's nothing to the left of the chart anymore. So the only thing we can frame right now is a short. Like, that's the only thing we can frame. Paying attention to immediate order flow once again. So what are we within right now on the 15-second chart is this fair value gap. So we're respecting that. I'm gonna have to see. Same as ES. They're just tape reading right now, not in a trade. Right, so it looks like we're not respecting the gap too much right now. See what happens here. Once again, when it comes to SMT divergence, we're just paying attention to the most recent SMT divergence, right? So we had SMT divergence on these lows, then now we suddenly have SMT divergence on these highs. So we're just paying attention to the most recent one. Back to the 15-second chart to see what's happening. Right. Also pay attention to 50% of this up close candle because this is that order block on the 15-second. Just accumulating within that order block right now. Yes, quarterly theory is applicable to any time frame. Right, once again, that midpoint of this order block is what I had my mouse hovering over. Now, what's happening to immediate order flow? It's being disrespected. We create a fair value gap through it, right? So now let's look at all this low resistance liquidity. It's pretty much clear traffic for all of this to be purged at this point. There's no more resistance to hold this up or support. That's just my opinion right now. So this is that breaker block. We're in that 15-second unicorn model right now. And so this is the point where I want to see displacement lower if we're going lower. Not liking this so far. Right back into the range. What is happening? Drawings. Get a new Clash Battle Pass? Yeah, I did. Yeah, Daniel, don't worry. I don't really have the clearest read on the market right now either. It's kind of what I want it to do is not happening. It's kind of like displacing out and then going back right into the range, right? So if we were bearish here, I wanted a quick run lower, but because we just traded back straight into the range, not too interested. I have Valorant downloaded. Should I play Valorant on the stream? Show us your prime? What do you mean? Is your weekend planned? Yeah, now back to the waiting game. Again, out of sync rate. NQ is slightly moving higher, I'd say. ES going sideways, why I'm going lower, just completely out of sync. My clips. I mean, let's see. I don't even know where my clips are, I'm gonna be honest. I forgot where I keep my clips. Let me add a new play capture. Oh god, what's happening? This is the smallest it gets. It's kind of lame. I show the Valorant clips. I haven't played Valorant in so long. Oh, this one's pretty good. Bribby with the stimmy, you know what I'm saying? These are like scrims though. It's not really It's against Genji. It's like about it's against the girl team, so you know, not that good. I'm not gonna lie. They're pretty mid. He's jumping up. Oh, it's going higher. Here we go. Once again, I don't know how I feel about YM right now, but they are moving in sync now. So this SMT on the low is holding. Don't they always take price back to the spike high? Not always necessarily. Like this spike higher, I was looking at as a rejection block, to be honest. Like essentially like this wick, for example, this could be a rejection block that I took yesterday. I had to turn this off. That was really annoying. But yeah. Once again, today's example of me being wrong, but I was able to make money. I lost money because I overtraded. I would just wait right now though, to be honest. Like I would still wait. Wrong and lost money for me. It just comes down to trade management in my opinion. But it's like it's a learning process. Yeah, exactly. So it looks like a rejection block, but what it really turned into now is the RDRB. How it usually goes. What other clips I have? Oh, this one was pretty good actually. It was like my first game back after like 3 months or something. Radiant lobby, you know what I'm saying? Just like that. Just like that. I'm just a Brim main. What just happened? Why is my thing okay? SMT. Now I don't know where price is gonna try to go. I'm gonna be honest. It's because we're at all-time highs, so I don't have much. I don't have much conviction of where price is going. We're gonna weekly expansion higher now. Damn, it's just going higher. Wait, does that mean Bitcoin is also skyrocketing right now? Surely, right? No, it's not. Hold your bags. So, famous words by Dante. The market will most likely keep going up until you buy, and then that's when it drops. Market's a scam. I don't know what else I would really. Oh, this one is pretty cool. This is also a radiant lobby. I'm surprised I got away with this though. I'm just like that, you know what I'm saying? Would you still consider the SMT at the highs or the charge not in sync right now? I honestly, I wouldn't really consider it anymore. At the rate it's displacing, like I just don't really. I'm not looking at that SMT anymore. Right, because we're displacing higher. It's not just a quick manipulation. Like earlier, if it was just this manipulation and we start trading lower, then that's like, okay, that's bearish. But now as we're displacing higher, now that's bullish. That makes sense. I think Casper caught the long. He caught the long. He's just like that. He caught it off of 5-minute unicorn. I think he did this. He did this. And unicorn. Something like that. He did this. Yeah, this is the exact trade he took. This would be the YouTube model I presented. Not that I took it, but this is it. Between 9:30 and 11:10. What's your opinion on ODTE options driving markets? I have no clue. That's something I don't pay attention. I figured out I really like pairing inverted fair value gaps with higher time frame bias as my model. It's worked great for me and worked on the long. this morning. Yeah, inversion fair value gaps are really good for bias in my opinion. And that's what Dodgy uses, right? It's just using inversion gaps like this hourly gap when inverted. You can look for this high, for example. Very clean. I just realized that I actually should have done this. This is actually my fault. Once we inverted that, we can look for support. I got cognitive dissonance to go lower. That's where I went wrong. 100% Megan. I agree. No worries, Daniel. Take it easy. I think I'm going to be hopping off pretty soon here as well. I don't really want to make any more calls today because just I haven't been really feeling it today. Like I feel like I've been like pretty off today. So I've been very like both sided today. But I still feel like I know there's the SMT divergence of the lows, but this lowers this liquidity. I'm pretty sure it has to be taken eventually. It does have to be taken. So that's something I would still look out for. Other than that, I think I'm just gonna call the stream here because I'm up today already and my calls haven't been very great, so I don't want to like misguide you guys and stuff. No worries. Got you guys. That's what I'm here for. On that note, thank you guys for attending the stream. I appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys in the Discord on Monday. And then I'll be posting a video on SMT divergence most likely next week. Week after that will be quarterly theory probably. And then yeah. But yeah, take care everybody. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate it.